Hi, everybody. Here we are. It's a snowy day here. Oh my gosh, it's snowing. Like we have like 3 inches of snow. It's only October and we have 3 inches of snow. I am so done and so over it already. So I hope everybody's doing good today. And so I am gonna do this really cool. Hey, Stacy. Keiki. Hi, and Dana. Hey. So I did this the other day totally by accident, and I just thought that it was so cool. It's a lot like sponge painting, but way simpler than sponge painting, and I had done the little mini video on doing it before. So all you need is some acrylic paint. I'm going to use Arteza because I really, really love Arteza paints. I hate apple barrel paints, and I just don't think that they work really good. I find that they pull off. It's a misery for me. Some people have great luck with our apple barrel. I don't. Generally, when I do this, I've done 4 or 5 of these cups now. And I have used Art Deco, works great. I have used folk art paint, works fantastic. I love the Deco Art metallics. These are super good for this. So these are all like ones that you can pick up super cheap at Michael's, Joann's. A lot of us have a ton of acrylic paint hanging around and we just don't know what to do with it all. So this is a great way to use some of that stuff up. And one of the things, of course, I threw it away, that I like to do is take a paper plate and then I'll play with the back of the paper plate with the different colors that I'm thinking about using, because sometimes we think a color is going to look really good and it ends up looking muddy or it doesn't really work the way that we want it to. So it's a super cheap way to get a lot of mileage out of your product and your paper plates. And I saved it. So this is one of the plates that I did where I was fooling around with Christmas colors, and this ended up being the Prince tumbler that I was doing, which these came out super, super good. And you only need a couple of colors. So the more color it seems like that you add, the more different colors it starts getting too busy. There's too many things happening with it. So this is the perfect application. It's great for kids because this is all non-toxic paint. So they can get in on some of the fun, particularly with holidays coming and we all have gifts to make and things like that. So I was super thrilled when I did this. It was completely by accident. I had sanded and spray painted a cup and I had been painting, and then I picked up the cup without even thinking about it, and I had paint on my hands and it ended up on the tumbler. So for some stupid reason I start tapping this cup and I'm like, why am I doing this? I looked down and I was like, hey, that looks kind of cool. So I decided, you know what? It's a little bit of paint. I'm going to try it. And I covered the entire tumbler with it, and I loved how it looked. It just came out super, super awesome. If I can get my cup here. This was the first one that I did. So I had spray painted the cup purple, and then I just used bronze and gold over the top of it. And I love it. And then I did another one with blues and kind of a, if I don't knock this over. So this is sort of a beachy kind of one that I ended up doing with just, and all that's in here is this turquoisey blue and gold and the white spray paint underneath. So as you can see, like super easy, simple to do. I use my fingers. I'm a hands-on artist, and I really like to be into my work. If I could work with epoxy on my fingers, I probably would, but well, we know that first of all, it's not good for us, and it's too sticky. I don't like that. But to do this, all you need is something to wipe your fingers off with, baby wipes, wet paper towel, because you're just using acrylic paint on it, and a prep tumbler. So everybody in this group knows the importance of sanding and spray painting your tumblers, so I'm not even going to bother to go into all of that. But if we could only educate the masses. And this is sort of my test cup for a whole bunch of stuff that I've got coming up, so that I'm going to show you. So this is a little darker base, and I left a little bit of brown here because I want to simulate. I'm going to try and do winter scene with this, and then I'll enhance it later on with something else. So just grab an acrylic, whatever color that you want. I'm going to be using the Artesas, like I said. I'm going to try some electric blues, some glacier blues, some sky blue, a pearl white, and a silver. And I'm just going to sort of, I don't know if I'm going to end up using them all, but I'm going to see how it goes. And then after we're done doing this, I'm going to show you all real quick how to do the hang method for epoxy, because I only have a couple of turners. So, and I'm the kind of person that when I get in the mood to do something and I want to do it, and then it's like, oh darn, I don't have a turner free. Well, you don't need a turner all the time, depending upon what you're doing. Like your first layer of epoxy that you put down, you don't need a turner to do that. You don't need it to put your first layer of glitter on. You can actually do hang method perfectly fine and be able to, have a whole bunch of things in process at once. So with that said, like I said, you use my fingers. I tend to, I just put a little dot of paint on, and I tend to use two fingers. It doesn't work with gloves, guys. And if you are the kind of person who doesn't like to get messy, this is probably not for you. But it's great for kids. And really, to me, it's almost therapeutic. You just tap it. That's all you do. Kyri's tap method, and just tap your stuff. The reason I like to use my fingers is because I can actually feel what's happening underneath the cup. So as you go along and you're tapping this, what ends up happening is you start to get a little sticky pull away resistance. Then you know that your paint's starting to get thin, and you're going to get a lighter look, and you're just going to keep on coming back in over that area. This color isn't really going to show up super good on here. So I'm going to move into a lighter color just so you can see what's going on. These Arteza metallics are amazing. Like, if you haven't tried them out, guys, these are gorgeous. They're just so beautiful. The pearly colors are truly pearly. They're just like, I don't know if you can see, like, that's the sky blue. No, I'm sorry. That's the glacier blue. And, the sky blue is really pretty too. So those are probably the two colors that I'm going to sort of go with. The darker blue is way too dark for this base. It's not even showing up on here. If you make a mistake, really easy to fix. Wipe it off. Like, seriously, if you don't like what's going on, you can at this point come right in here and just wipe it right off. So you get, there's no harm, no foul in this method. You can really do basically whatever you want to do. And I like how it leaves a little texture. So if you wanted to, you don't have to smash it down, and you don't really have to keep going so that there's nothing. It leaves a little texture And that looks actually really cool once you put the epoxy on. It does not lift up. It's not like lumpy the way that you would think that it would be. And I love it. I think I'm going to do like a way lot of cups like this because it's so simple. And it, like I said, it's almost therapeutic. You don't want to get messy. You don't want to do, I don't know, like sometimes for me, pulling out paintbrushes and glitter and stuff is just like way beyond my powers of thinking since I've been taking class. And I just, I need something to occupy my brain. So I'll just sit and I will just bang out a cup like this. And it's kind of like, ooh, I felt productive. And I got a little art therapy, which is cool. You want to go fairly light in the beginning. You can start with your dark color or your light color. It doesn't really matter. But when I'm talking about light is allows, you'll see like there's the dark part is sticking through here. You can see it. And it's okay to leave some of that. You can always go back in and add more. I guess it's kind of like cooking and stuff where, you start off with less and then you decide that you need more spices in your chili or whatever, because you can't take them out once you put them on. It's kind of the same with this, is particularly after you get a layer or two on here, then you're sort of stuck and you have to either wipe it all off or go back in and, change colors. So I have study brain. My brain is absolutely crispy at this point. I've been working on a paper now for all week. And I'm glad I got a message with Amy this morning because she reminded me. She said, don't forget the live. And I was like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot about the live that I was supposed to do today because I have a paper due tomorrow night. So as I go along here, I'm just going to keep holding this up. And this is really all that you're doing. It's super fun. It's super easy. It really, it would be truly great for children. Because how many times you have the little ones around and they're kind of like, I want to help. I want to do something. They want to feel like they got they get involved. And they can do this. And then you do the epoxy part. And I like that. You can use 2 fingers, which actually fills in the spaces, but it also gives you a different textured look, which I really like. And now once you get your initial layer down, you can actually start making patterns in it where you can spiral your color in, it's sort of like, I don't know, in an arc, which looks really neat. There's just so many cool things that you can do with this method. You can use sponges if you want to, if you don't want to get your fingers into it. I personally like the look of the small finger marks. You're not actually seeing like your fingerprint in it. You're just getting like the oval part of your finger shape. And really, I don't know. I did another live on this earlier, and I did one in another group for it, and people seem to like it. So I decided that I was actually going to do like a whole live on how to do one. And then show you guys how to do that epoxy hang method, because a lot of people don't know how to do it. I know that this is more of a seasoned group here in the VIP group, and there's so many great artists in this group that have done so many awesome things. But there are some people that don't really know about the hang method. What else can I tell you? The other thing I like about this is it dries super fast. So by the time I'm done with this, I'm going to mix my epoxy, and I'm actually going to hang method this cup right away. This doesn't have to, because you're not doing super thick layer, doesn't have to dry overnight. You could let it if you really wanted to, but it's not necessary. And you'll get, it's almost like instant gratification, which I really love. So if you have shows that you want to do, and you're like, oh my gosh, I got a show, you know, in, you know, a week or two, and normally you could only make a couple of really cool cups. This way you can bang out a whole bunch of these super easy, super quick. Find yourself a nice decal or water slide, whatever you want to put on it, and you're done. So this is my first layer, as you can see. And don't forget the bottom, guys, which I am notorious for forgetting the bottom. I've done whole cups, walked away, and then been like, oh crap, I forgot the bottom. So I guess that's just one of those things, particularly with study brain going on. Now, so as I'm talking to you guys about different stuff, if you have any questions, if you want to ask me about anything, you know, regarding crafting or epoxy or whatever, please, you know, feel free. Anything about what I'm doing, you know, again, feel free. It's all cool. But this has turned out to be like one of my favorite things to do. And you know, like I said, it doesn't take a long time. It's it is messy, because you're going to get it on your fingers. You don't want to have like it's okay to have texture, but you don't want to have like any big paint glops. So make sure that as you're going around, you just don't have any like big glops of paint that I think they take longer to dry, number one. And then you also run the risk of having like a bump when you put your epoxy on. So if you want to speed up, so I have to be careful I don't touch that with my thing. If you want to speed up the drying, you can just use a heat gun or an embossing gun on it, which I'm going to do real quick here. So how's everybody doing? What are y'all working on? I know it's Halloween's tomorrow, and then most people start going right into doing their Christmas or their holiday stuff. I have some really awesome tutorials that I'm going to be doing coming up here real quick. I'm going to do a Nutcracker Tumbler, and I'm going to do kind of a silhouetted peekaboo, you know, the Nutcracker. Not like the little man Nutcracker, but actually the Nutcracker. Oh, Jennifer. Oh yeah, I love plaid. It's like, I know I'm sick in the head. I love doing plaid. I did my first one, like, and then I fell in love with it, and then I did a tutorial, you know, here in the other group, and I love doing plaid. I just love it. Do you do the easy method, or are you doing it the like, I don't know, the more difficult way? Which way do you prefer? I know some people do what they call the cheat method, and they use the double-sided sticky tape, which I'm not crazy about. Hey, Gina! Kristen, hi! Oh my goodness. So, really, we're moving into the second color on this. It's a little tiny bit darker than my first one. Did you like doing the double-sided tape? I did not have any luck with the double-sided tape. I was like pulling my hair out. I could not get it to go down the way that I wanted it to. I hope somebody else does another tutorial on it or posts it up again, because I cannot find. I know we had somebody do the plaid, and with the double-sided tape tutorial and I can't find it, and I am terrible when it comes to finding, you know, like doing searches. I never seem to find what I'm looking for. But I'd like to try it again. I'm like one of those people too. I never say die kind of thing. And it's like, I'm going to get this. I'm going to figure it out. But I love the whole science and the math and everything. So I think that's why I was doing the tutorial and doing the plaids the way that I was doing them. Oh, thank you, Kristen. Appreciate it. I mean, I don't mind doing like the regular tape method and then filling it in, although I'm not a big, huge Mod Podge fan. I'm really not. It's one of the things that when I was doing my stained glass tumbler, it was all Mod Podge, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I like losing my mind. So at this particular point, if you can see this, I could technically stop. I mean, there's enough there. This looks really good to me. And you saw how quick that was. It was like super, super fast. Oh, okay, Gina, thanks. Awesome. I'm going to look at it again and see. I mean, I have a bunch. I don't have any of the 1-inch, but I have a bunch of other double-sided tapes, and I'm going to give those a try. I don't know. I'm going to try it again and see what happens. I mean, what's the worst that happens? You strip the cup and you start over. Yeah, I agree, Gina. I love it. I don't know. There's something about the creation of it. I don't really do these to make money. I haven't even, like, honestly, I mean, I make them for friends. I have a few things that I do, you know, on the side that I sell. But cups, I don't want to turn it into a business because I love doing it. So if that makes sense, I don't know. I do it if somebody needs something, that's awesome. If they don't, that's awesome. I'll just try and keep it hang back and light. Okay, I'm going to try a little bit of white, like I said, because I want to go with the wintry kind of theme here. Chris and I saw a video with somebody doing epoxy, and I think in some applications it would work really cool. My only question and worry about doing like an epoxy method plaid would be you have so much tape going on that I don't know how that would work, because I don't know. Maybe. Okay, so I'm putting on a little white. I'm just, as you see, I'm just kind of dabbing it here. And I'm just going to sort of starburst it. I'm trying to get this so you all can see what the heck I'm doing. If you find it's too much in an area, the other cool thing that you can do is as you continue to tap it, if you tap harder, it almost, it's like it smishes it down more and it makes the paint spread out more, so it gets a lot lighter quicker, which I kind of like. I like the fact that you have a lot of control with your hands of what you're doing. I tried doing this with a sponge. I didn't like it. I don't have a whole lot of sponges, and the thing that I found is that you know, cleaning them out, I don't know, for me it was just sort of a pain in the neck. And like I said, I've always got my hands in something. I mean, if you look at me, I'm covered with paint, or I got glitter all over me, or you know, I'll go to the grocery store and people look at me and they're looking at me weird, and I've got like glitter across my forehead or something. It's kind of like just my magic, you know. Love doing the stained glass cup. I absolutely had a blast. I saw a video or something on YouTube, and I do stained glass. So I was kind of like, hey, this is a great idea. Let me try it. And it is tedious and very time consuming. Absolutely. That's definitely like one of those cups that you're doing. It's kind of like the dragon scale idea, where it's definitely a labor of love. And you got to love what you're doing to sit there for all those hours. The one that I did with the Raven, I think I put up a video in the other group of it, or maybe it was this one. And if not, I will. It took me like 3 days to glitter it. So I found a cool pattern. I cut it out in my vinyl, you know, prepped my cup, laid my vinyl down, and then I started to paint with the Mod Podge and cover it with glitter. I learned a lot. Jennifer, if you have a Cricut or some, you know, a cutter kind of a thing, you can actually convert, look under stained glass templates or stained glass picture, you know, picture templates. Coloring book pages work really good. So it's just white with the black lines. You can flip that into your, that's like, I don't know hardly anything about Cricut, and I figured out how to do it, and I was like so impressed with myself. I still have to learn how to do a name, because that's on my list of things to do. But anyhow, and then print it, weed it, and slap it down on your cup. And then you just fill in the blank. It's like coloring. It's super easy. It isn't hard. It's absolutely not hard. It's super simple to do. It's just very, very, very time consuming. I don't know how I feel about putting paper on my tumbler. I saw something or in another group that people were talking about using Christmas paper on the tumblers too. And I was kind of like, that's a really cool idea. Super, super cool. And like cheap. I mean, you know, when we're talking about costs and making things for people or gifts or something, got to get it done quickly, the costs are ridiculous. I mean, my gosh, you know, just, I know we're all crafters here. Besides that, we need to save our money for glitter, right? Never enough glitter. Kristen, I have to try and do one of those galaxy things that you did on that license plate. It's so awesome. So awesome. I have a great big tray mold that I got from Amy that I love. I love them. And I think it would look amazing. Different rubber bands. Oh, cool idea. Rubber bands. That's kind of brilliant. Oh, this is looking like really wintry. I'm liking this. I'm really liking this a lot. I think I'm done though. Like seriously, like and it's got some texture to it. I don't hope you can see this. It's textured because of the tapping, and it's almost completely dry. But I wanted something for winter, and the other thing you can do is you could come in and do like little bits of glitter here and there on it if you wanted to. Like you could put down some more wet paint and just put a little glitter on. I think that would look really awesome. I have to see if I have any more. There's one in particular that I was thinking about getting. I don't know if my kitty will let me into my glitter box. No, you're not going to let me in there. He sits. I don't know if y'all can see him. This is funny. This is my little helper. That's Dracaris. This has all my PPM glitter in it. And he thinks it's his bed. He really does. He thinks it's his bed. So, he doesn't like, oh, he's going to come down. So maybe I can. But that Geo, I think it's the silver Geo glitter, I think would look really pretty on here. Just a little, like a few, like little sprinkles here and there. But this is almost completely dry. And then as soon as that's dry, I'm going to hang method it. So if you haven't done it, So that's that cup. Seriously, guys, it's that easy. Like, it's not rocket science. You can use one color, three colors, four colors, whatever. Like I said before, I find the more color that you use, the more that you add to it, it almost starts to get muddy looking. So I generally keep with actually most of the tumblers that I've done have been three colors. One is like super light, one is mid-range, and then the other ones can either be dark or something that enhances, like if I was going to do like a bronze or gold, something like that. This one I used the glacier blue, the sky blue, and then a white, and they're all pearl paints that I used. And this, I don't even think you can see how pretty this is. It is just so gorgeous. I do have to come back in here and fix the bottom of this because I don't know why it did what it did, but it's gone funny from when I spray painted it. But anyways, this is like the perfect thing for children, guys. I mean, like I said, they like to play with their hands and get their hands into the paint and stuff like that. It's kind of like finger painting in a sense. And I was trying to think of things to do, different types of tutorials for people. And I thought this was great. This was just a great way to do it. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, you could probably do camo like this. I think you probably could. Baby wipe just takes it right off. It's all set. So I'm going to leave that to set for a minute. And I'm going to mix up some epoxy to show you how to do it. So as I was, again, I'm kind of digressing and jumping all over the place. One of the things I did was I only have a couple of turners, so because I like to craft when I want to craft it, I do what I want to do when I want to do it. I was sitting and I was kind of like, I really want to make something. What can I do? How can I do it? Because all three of my turners are going, and you know, I guess I can't make a cup because I don't have a turner. And I said, well, what can I hang it on? What can I put it on? And I found I had a whole bunch of water bottles. So I filled it back up with water so that there's some weight to it. And then I have a whole bunch of these silicone sheets that I had got. Now I did try doing it without putting a silicone sheet on here. And what ended up happening was, as expected, it stuck to the cup when the epoxy dried. So not so great. So then I said, well, what if I had a silicone sheet? I put it around the silicone sheet, around it. Would that work? And it worked out perfect. And then you just take your cup and just kind of put it on there and boom. Hang method. Perfect. You don't need a lot of epoxy when you do hang method. Like, really, truly, trust me, you don't. You need like 3 milliliters, maybe 4 at the most, on a 30-ounce cup. I've done 2 milliliters on like a little 14-ounce cup. It worked perfectly. It spread out beautiful. Didn't have any problems with it. That's on a stainless steel, just a stainless steel prep tumbler. It did not have any problems with that. So you definitely don't want a lot. It's the same when you lay in glitter. And if you're going to go over paint, it's basically the same thing. You might need a tiny bit more. So normally I mix like 4 milliliters up. I have a bunch of cups to do after this. I got like 3 sitting over there on the turner. So I'm just gonna mix up a whole bunch right now, and then I'll pour off like 3 milliliters and show you guys how to do it real quick if you don't know. But it's so worthwhile knowing. I really believe that. I think that this is it's so easy doing it. And I don't have a mask on right now because you guys would not be able to hear me because I have like this huge contraption thing. I like this epoxy. I think it works super good for this application. I've been basically using the same epoxy now for like 4 months. I switched and I really love it. But I do want to find, I don't know, I'm looking for a fast set. So if anybody knows a really good fast set, I'm super interested in that. And I saw, yeah, I think that's what it's called, fast set. And I also am looking for UV glitter, not glitter, UV resin. I've never worked with it before. So if you guys know good UV resin, I don't know if Amy sells one or not. I know she had some different kinds of stuff on the site. I haven't actually been on there for a while. Oh, cool. Thank you, Kristen. I got to check them out. I haven't actually worked with them yet. I hear good stuff about that. That's the ones that do the acrylic too. I know I'm all about just trying to find different things that work really good. Does she sell the UV lights too, or am I gonna have to find one of those? I have not, because I have never worked with fast set, but I really want to. I want to learn more about, because I want to work smarter, not harder. And I really want to start to like crank out some stuff, because particularly with the holidays coming. I mean, I know so many people, and I just want to make things for them. And I'm not a big ornament fan. I don't do ornaments, really, although I've seen some really cute ones. I really just sort of want to make things for people. And I think I'm just going to do cups. I got a ton of cups. But it's going to take me forever if I don't have something that sets up quick. Can you do UV resin on a cup? Or is it just for molds and stuff? I have no idea. I've never used it. And I'm a little leery about going on YouTube and looking stuff up, because I've just found like a whole bunch of really bad information. I was ranting on my page about some of the other groups that I'm in that started off like being really cool, and the bad information that gets put out is it just blows my brain up. So I'm always careful when it comes to giving information or taking, YouTubes and watching them and actually applying them, because I don't know what's what's good and what's not half the time on stuff. Oh, okay. That makes sense, Kristen. So one of the tricks that I found that works, let me get my gloves on first, that I found works best is, rather than heating the resin, so I'm gonna, I've mixed up my resin, it's all mixed. I'm going to pour off a little bit into a clean cup, and let me do this. Can't pour and think and talk at the same time. I'll let that sit a minute. Is I heat up my cup instead of my resin. Oh, wicked cool. Oh, that's wicked awesome. See, all you guys know so much. It's so awesome. I like the fact that everybody here gets along too. There's no bickering and fighting and no, I don't know. Just I'm pretty fed up with, I think I'm just going to kind of start kicking back and getting out of a bunch of my groups, and I'm just going to sort of devote more time here. I have the teeniest, tiniest hands, I think. I have the worst problem with gloves. I just got these, which are kind of like finger cuts, but they're silicone, they're reusable. And I'm super curious about them because I have the word, I found that with the gloves and the wrinkles in the gloves, when you're putting on the epoxy, you get a lot of bubbles from the glove. So I'm hoping that this little thingy works. There's a pack of 10. There's a bunch of different sizes on them. It's totally awesome, Kristen. I hate the drama in the other groups. I can't even. It's like I'm a busy person and I have like so many things, and my downtime, my fun time, my pleasure time, which is when I'm crafting and doing stuff, is I want it to be fun. I want it to be exciting. I want, people to be excited about what it is that they're doing, but not giving out bad information. Like I can't even begin to say how frustrating that is. Because, you just want to sit there and you want to be screaming, that's not right. Don't do that. Don't, that's dangerous. People saying, oh, you don't need to wear PPE, or you don't need to, and not just for resins, but I do soap. I do, where's my other thingy? I do soap. I do, my gosh, sewing. I do a billion and one things. There it is. Sorry. Usually I'm better prepared. Always, silicone mats are amazing because I'm going to put this on my lap so that I can actually show y'all. Okay, so tumbler, this is all dry now. Just double check. Yep. Okay. So what I did was I poured out about 4 milliliters of resin into my cup, and now I'm going to just heat up my cup. It's like the coolest thing when I figured out how to do it. And I'm sure some of you already know, or you do hang method a lot. Saved me a lot of time, and then I actually got to craft and do something while my tumbler was all my other tumbler turners are tied up. So you don't want it to get hot, you just want it warm. I think it depends on, Kristen, I think it depends on what you're using, like what type of resin that you're using. I really do believe that it makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so I pour out about, 3/4 of my stuff onto the top. And then this has a few more bubbles. It's really cold in here, so this is why this is bubbling up on me. There we go. I poured it in the top, and then I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to start swiping down. Yeah. Okay. Not the best position to be in because I'm dripping myself. Like I said, I'm hands-on, so I just get messy. I'm a slob. Just take it all the way down to the bottom, and I go right onto the mat. And you just I like to work systematically. So I'll start by bringing it down and just keep coming down and off of it and around, and just make sure that you're actually coming all the way down to the bottom. You should have, with that amount of resin, more than enough to completely cover the cup, particularly because you warmed up your cup. And as you know, when you heat up the metal on the cup, it just spreads super easy. It's just like butter, melting butter. I like this finger thingy. It's actually giving me like a really nice smooth. And then when you need more, just come in and put more on there. Like I said, you may not need it all. I always try to have like little molds handy or something like that. I'd rather make more than what I need than to run out part way through and then have to rush off and make some more. I think I used to do that a lot when I very first started working with resin. Is I never made, I don't know, I thought I had the amount right, and then I never had it right, and it was kind of a pain. Particularly if you're mixing color in. I've been super lucky. I'm allergic to everything on the planet, but I haven't had any problems with this resin. I did have problems with another resin, but oh my gosh, it stunk so bad. It was awful. So I think that that has a lot to do with it. But I do like this particular product, which is Tumbler Epoxy, and I've been really happy with it. At least the performance of the product has been good. And that's it. That's done. That's covered. It's all smoothed down. It's a super thin coat, which is, I think it's great for base coats, first coats. I did try to do it over glitter this way, and I had a double of a time with it. It worked, but I ended up, using probably 12 or 15 milliliters on the cup that I was doing, which seemed a lot to me because normally I don't use that much. Okay, and that's it. Hang method, boom, and wintry cup, boom, done. I'm super psyched. That actually looks pretty cool. So I hope this helped and you guys get something out of it. I'm loving all these tutorials that everybody's doing. I'm so glad that this group is the way that it is, and people are just so awesome and caring and all that good stuff. And that's it. So I guess the trick with these little finger thingies is you're supposed to wipe them off and then leave them set, to kind of dry. And then if there's any dried resin on them, you just, it's like the silicone cups. You just wipe it off or wash it off or whatever. So we'll see, because this is my first time trying this one. And yeah, it cleans up really easy. There's no resin left on it. So, hey, you know what? Gloves are expensive. They're stupid to try and get now. I don't know about you guys, but I have a horrible time finding gloves around here. Luckily, I make candles and I do soap. So I bought 2 cases of gloves. So anyhow, thank you all I hope that this was good for you guys. Next week, I'm doing a Nutcracker cup. So I hope that you will join me for that. Be really awesome. And you guys have a fabulous day. Thanks for watching. Bye.